Oh my god. There's no way this just happened and no one else talked about this video. Because what transpired was one of the most horrific things that we've ever seen. 99% of you won't be able to stomach this. Katt Williams is one of those guys that everybody looks up to. One of those people that speaks his mind and doesn't care what other people think. Maybe that's his superpower. But oftentimes what we see is Katt Williams get himself into trouble. Largely in part because of the fact that he can't turn that filter off. But stay with me, because he went too far on this one. Because the topic of people he didn't like came up, but who he name dropped is the real shocker. Talked about his character, talked about he was stealing material, talked about he has no talent, and talked about how they got into a comedy battle and Katt Williams completely decimated him. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Is the other person gonna make a video? They did, but they took more of the scenic route. How we're supposed to live in harmony, be united, and we shouldn't act like this towards each other. It doesn't matter.
He got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore.
Jesus Christ. There's no way this just transpired and no one else talked about this video. Because what was just uncovered is something we never expected. And sadly to say, it came out of nowhere. Katt Williams, one of those people, one of the funniest, top 3 in most people's eyes. It's up for debate, but stay with me. Because oftentimes Katt Williams says things that seem a little bit off, whether it's dissing people on podcasts, speaking his mind openly, or dismantling entire careers. And this is no exception. Because he didn't dismantle just one, but 3 different careers at the same time. And oftentimes people say that he goes too far, and it's true. But if your job is to be a comedian, oftentimes you're gonna say things that most people aren't gonna resonate with. But the goal is to make the audience, the ones that come to see you, be entertained. But he did this, not in a show, but on a video. Stealing material, don't know how they got there, and importantly, they don't have any skill in the first place. Now I know what you're thinking. Is it really that bad?
Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that.
Good God. This took place and no one else is talking about this video. Because what just transpired came out of nowhere and nobody ever expected this could happen. The sad thing is that no one else is talking about this video. Man of a lot of talent, a lot of movie roles, also a master of not caring. I know what you're thinking. What do you mean? Stay with me. Not just as stand-up, but in videos, we see Katt Williams talk about things that most people kind of shy away from. Taboo topic. Like when he discussed what transgender really means, and that was evil. But imagine how bad that was. Amplify it by 10. Because he just brought down an entire legacy in 10 seconds. Not only discussing about the fact that he stole material from Katt when he was younger, thought that Katt Williams would never blow up, and stealing this joke wouldn't matter. No one would see, no one would care, but that backfired. Because Katt Williams did blow up. In the midst of him blowing up, highlighted this video. Then Katt Williams goes to the extent in saying, this person's not entertaining at all, yet entertaining is in his name.
He thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right. Jesus help us. Because there's no way this just happened and no one else talked about this video. What transpired, we could never predict. And sad to say is that this came out of nowhere. One and only Katt Williams, a man of many talents. But stay with me, because I know exactly what you're thinking. He's not that great. Yes. One of the highest selling comedians, countless sold out shows, millions of dollars. Everything was going great for Katt. However, this happened. Because Katt Williams oftentimes says things that he doesn't have a filter for. Oftentimes, most of the time, he doesn't have a filter, which periodically leads him into trouble. And this is no exception. Because he went after 2 people, famous people that you all know and love and worship. He spilled the truth, or the truth in his eyes. But don't go anywhere. Because he talked about these 2 people not only are in the best comedy group in the world, but they're not even funny in the first place. And why that's disturbing? Because what's more important than life? How skilled you are or who you know?
Because Cedric give you an award that was worth something. Everything Cedric and Ricky Smiley ever been in got canceled for not being funny. Ricky sat here and told you that they cut him out of every movie he did. They always had a reason. Like,
I can't believe this nightmare just unfolded right in front of our eyes. It's mind-blowing the fact that the rest of the world is ignoring this video. And the sad thing is that no one expected this video to happen. We're talking about one of the funniest. A comedian who's not shy to speak his mind, say what he wants to say, and most importantly, he also adheres to guidelines. And here's what I mean. He doesn't use words like the R word, but he'll sit there and substitute it for special needs. But he unveiled something that we never expected, but stay with me. The conversation that arose was about Diddy. And we all know when that name is brought up, that brings up the party, the tapes, the celebrities, everyone that attended, so we know this is terrible. Now it gets even deeper, because when he was recently invited on Club Shay Shay, there was a portion where he mentioned that Diddy offered him $50 million, but there was another part that nobody ever discovered. This part shows the real devastating horrors of what Diddy was and what he did. Hundreds of celebrities all fell victim to the same trap.
There's 3 other black guys on there. Woo! Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is...
Did he really just say this? There's no way, and the fact that no one else is talking about this video is honestly disturbing. Now I can see why. 99% of you won't be able to stomach this, but if you can, I'll show you. One and only. Many talents, super funny, not only a mastery of comedy, but stay with me. Katt Williams' best skill is the fact that he has no filter and oftentimes says things that he normally thinks and says. But we see times that Katt Williams also gets into trouble because of the fact that he's not able to turn that filter off. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why does this matter? This matters because the fact that he went too far on this one. Because what he tried to do was try to dismantle an entire legacy, but at the same time might have just hindered his own. Because he went at one of the biggest people that we know, someone that everybody loves and cherishes, admires. But this time, it was an entire race that he went after. Now it makes you think, if we actually believe this, then we're all cooked.
He might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There you
Majors.
go. Think, come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Is this real? This is one of the most horrific things ever to transpire, and I'm more shocked at the fact that no one else is talking about this video. Sadly, it came out of nowhere. Katt Williams needs no introduction, a man of many talents, but oftentimes what we see is that Katt Williams says some things that rubs people the wrong way because of the fact that he doesn't have a filter. But don't go anywhere, because I know exactly what you're thinking. Does he ever go too far? Yes, because what he just said pieces everything together. It's about Diddy, not just the fact about the parties and the videos and the tape, but this is way more important, and frankly, even more devastating. Also, the funny thing about Katt Williams, he often goes at a lot of other different celebrities, different comedians, talking about they don't have any skill, talent. Oftentimes, don't even know how they got there in the first place. That was bad, but nothing compares to this. Because ask yourself, if somebody offered you $50 million, what would you do? I already know what a lot of you would do. Most of you wouldn't turn it down.
Who's gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did.
Disney needs to be stopped, because there's no way this just happened and no one else talk about this video. What took place is something that we could never expect, and the sad thing is 99% of you won't be able to stomach this. Katt Williams, one of those guys that talks openly about what he wants to say, never has any filter, but the sad thing is the fact that he can't turn that filter off. Stay with me. I know exactly what you're thinking. In what way? How? Because in this video, what he exposed was not just one person, an entire industry that everybody loves and cherishes, none other than Disney. A franchise that establishes itself off of dreams, happy endings. But Katt Williams just dismantled that whole thing. Now, oftentimes we've seen Disney do a lot of weird and corrupt things over the years, like when they froze Walt Disney, never released it until they were forced to. But things get a lot deeper, especially when they start taking money from people that don't even have any money. That's when it gets cruel. And so what you're about to see, sometimes those big companies that you worship can do evil.
Disney sued me. Yeah, I was Cat in the Hat. They sent me a cease and desist letter, and I'm not even making $25,000 a year. And the mega company Disney has sent me a cease and desist telling me I can't use any variations of that name. Fine, I'm Katt Williams. That's all that happened.